my beautiful buddies, welcome back to another fantastic video. My name is Kai and welcome back. It is, well, we are going back to Wednesday last week. Well, a couple of days ago from the last video with the Therian form of Animus. So we're going to go back to Dialga right now. I didn't put this out for Animus because I wanted to see if we can get the shiny before that, so we can put that in the video, but we didn't, so I added all what I've got and then into this clip. So there is no shiny, that's why it says Dialga Raid Hour, no shiny. There was none. Anyway, let's get into the video. Let's go. So we're going to start off this video with the what's your favourite research. That gives a bit of Stardust, Lucky Egg and some candy. That's an incredible thing. But of course if you're brand new you actually did get Gengar. And then of course the next bit of the Precious Paths research is out as well. Of course none of them two actually have... there we go, completed that. Then of course the next bit is trading Pokemon, which we'll probably do in the future anyway. But 9 and 10 aren't really that great. Anyway, we're going to start off with some Dialga raids. This is the start. This is actually at the Thorn Yacht Club. Unfortunately I didn't show you that because of course this video is extremely long if I actually did it from start to finish, so I'm just gonna cut it from the beginning and then where we almost take it down. And shiny check, no shiny, and nothing even that great either, so you know, majority of this raid hour we basically got nothing. So this is actually raid number 6 of Dialga, I think. Yeah, this is Dialga number 6. Yes, I think we got 5 Dialgas in the previous raid hour video. Yeah, I have no idea. We basically tried to get shiny, but we didn't get it during this raid hour. And actually, in 2 videos' time, we tried getting shiny Dialga still and got nothing. Terrible IVs on these. Right, in the next raid, actually this is actually the beginning of the raid hour actually. The last bit was actually by the time I walked up to Thorn Yacht Club. There was already a Dialga there, so I went into that one. But this is actually the start, which is the next raid down, which is at the obstacle course. It's because if I went to Thorn Yacht Club, it was a Palkia. So if we went down, then there we go. We at the Thorn Yacht Club was Palkia. The obstacle course was Dialga, so we raided this instead. Which both gyms are basically what we want to try and get gold. So it worked out. So unfortunately the Thorn Yacht Club is more lower down our gold potential, even though I raid at it quite often. I just haven't managed to get it to the point where I can actually put Pokemon in the gym to get it to gold. So got a couple of more that I need to do around here in Thorn. We have 19 gyms, so we won't see too many of them. Anyway, we've got another Basculegion here, which is nice. Well, Basculin, because eventually Basculegion will be out. And then we've got this, which is the shiny Malaretta research. that we're going to work on in the next couple of. And one of them is actually that we have to do like a bunch of lucky trades, I think. So another bunch of researches that we'll probably be trying to do. Oh, but we can complete this, which is the purify like 5 shadow Pokemon. I thought let's put this in the video because I don't know where I would probably shove this if I didn't make it just a video of it, so I just shove it in Dialga raid out video. So yeah, it's not too bad. Just shove it here. Originally I was just gonna skip all of these and just. I thought let's just have them here. These aren't even that great of Pokemon anyway. Some of them not even got a decent HP or attack stat. Slack off. I don't know where I got a whole Shadow Slack off from, but we're going to purify that for the task. So breaking up the radar with purifying a bunch of Pokemon. By the way, I'm actually not really that. I'm still walking at this point, so walking up to the next bunch of raids at this point, and then we've got Precious Pals taking over. Actually, no, it wasn't walking. Okay, yeah, so this was way before the raid hour. I have no idea about that. But anyway, popping it here. Not sure if I was going to ever use that bit. Going back into the Masterwork research for the Dazzling Aura, which is Meloretta, and we're going straight back into with the Basculin with the white stripe, which can become Basculegion if it ever gets unlocked, but probably end up turning up in raids. So we got 5. We're in on the 5th step for that, which is win 5 5-star raids or higher, and obtain, of course, 5 lucky trades in a trade, which we'll probably do over the years. The 5 win 5 raids or higher will end up being done with the which actually happened last week. Well, in the last episode, sorry, during the Therian Enamorous. And of course, we still got a couple of these to do, which purify a bunch of Shadow Pokemon. This is gonna take a while. But yeah, just purifying as many of these as we can. You know, it's just one of those things where you have to just purify what you can. But to be fair, we still need to do a bunch of these anyway. When we get to like level 63, I believe, so we have to purify like 100 of these. So I have to do whatever I've purified, have to restock ready for that. But we can get some of these tasks done, which is nice. Get them out of the way. But slack off, another one. I didn't even realise I had 2 slack offs. But anyway, apparently I had 2 slack offs. which is interesting. But yeah. Okay, so that's complete on the precious paths taken over. Not too bad. I think the next one after that is that I have to like do a bunch of research, I think. I think the next one after that is that I have to like battle the team leaders. Yes, it is. I have to battle like Arlo, Cliff, and Samia, and then. But I won't do that just yet. I'll just leave that for another time, and then get them out of the way. And of course, we still need to power up Ghost type like 10 times, but we ain't got to that yet. But talking about powering up something, let's power up our Groudon, since we can actually power that up a bit more. So Shadow Groudon will be powered up just a tad more. Because of course we got some power up Pokemon 3 times tasks, which that actually does mean that we can power up these Pokemon, which is great. So very soon we'll have that we have the most powerful Pokemon. That also does mean that the next couple of raids actually are pretty easy for Dialga. Bringing this down with Primal Groudon. So yeah, we're using the same team. It's just same team, just unfortunately we cut out a lot of the radar. For the researches that you saw. So we are back with the radar. Which ain't too bad, I suppose. I mean, the annoying part about this, I spent out my day just walking around. It was actually really raining that day. It was quite annoying, pretty much. But anyway, now we're going back. Just doing whatever raids I can. Just here and there. Actually, I don't know about what was going on there. Did I just remote raid into that one? But, yeah. But I was out during the Wednesday raid hour. These are just in no particular order, actually, of the raid hour. But, you know, to be fair, it doesn't really matter, since one, we didn't get the shiny, so it really doesn't need to be in order. So here we are, going into the next one. All the candy though will be usable for other things. No shiny, like you expected. Yes, we just were struggling getting it. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Oh. There was actually some of them that actually did run for me, I think, from these Dialgas. But Dialga is just one of those Pokemon that will always elude me trying to get the shiny. Yeah, just there we go. 1, 2, 3. Is that a goal? No, it was not. yeah, it's Dialga being one of those raids that will always elude me with the shiny. So far we were doing so well in these videos getting the shiny, but then it pretty much every raid that we did we got a shiny, but Dialga decided no. You've had too many shinies this year so far, so no shiny for you. Not even a good IV one either, so not during this raid hour anyway. In another 2 videos I got the a pretty decent IV, but stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'll bring that out. Come on, 2, 3, boom, there we go. In the Pokebox and being removed for candy. All this candy will be decent for when we either get a decent IV origin form one, so we can use in the future. And going into the next raid, which where are we going? Yeah, there we go. Going into the next one. I don't know what happened there, but going straight into the next. Oh yes, this is the Friday now, ain't it? That was the end of the raid hour. We're going into the Friday night, where I was raiding from the Red Bear. I totally forgot about that. So yeah, these are kind of, the week is kind of like split up from when I can try and do it. So this is actually me raiding from the Red Bear. There was a couple of raids going. Like I say, we literally got no shiny because unfortunately we couldn't do that many of these because it weren't spawning as much throughout the week. Raid hour was literally the last raid hour that you saw, Dialga and Palkia, where we got the shiny Palkia, was literally the last valuable raids I could do, because from that, legendary raids were not spawning as frequently in little villages like here in Thorn, so we were really struggling getting these down, using my free raid pass on the legendaries, like I have been doing over the last 4 years. It means that part of me really did not want to be using remote raid passes because of how expensive they are. So going out in person to do these were a lot cheaper. Boom, there you go. In boom, 1. No? Can we? Yes, yes, no? You know what? This is part of it where we just struggle catching these, but you know, eventually we'll have a thing coming out throughout this week. We'll finally get to 75, where we'll be able to just be able to catch these Pokemon over the a lot faster. So because of course, I think starting this week or next week we'll be getting the Kalos Tour time research. So that'll be good. Boom, there we go. 1. Well, $22.71 is that? Yeah, it's still not good. Like I was saying, throughout this raid hour, well, it's not really a raid hour because it was, some of them were in the raid hour, only 7 of the gyms that were during the raid hour. And then, of course, some of these are from Friday, before the Therian form of Animus. So this is during the raid hour. What you saw previously, that was on Friday. I think this is also a Friday. So what? Because of course I didn't put these in any particular order. They always messed up a little bit. So when I actually did do them, technically you weren't actually supposed to see the little bit of editing mistakes, but you know, it happens. Yeah. Okay, here we go. In this raid we go. Going into the next Dialga. And also we had a lot of network issues around here for some reason. It happens. It was a pain in the butt. But in some areas that I was struggling with the signal. And here we go, the last raid at the Thorn Leisure Centre. Oh, yeah. The last raid that we did of the raid hour was Whitegate Road, which I actually did remote raid into because I thought it would be safer just to go to the Thorn Leisure Centre. And on the bin where it was for the Thorn Leisure Centre, saw the Rake Field. Saw the one at the saw the one at the park. Thought, might remote raid into this one for safety. I didn't want to be standing in the park, so I remote raided into that for my own safety. So that was why I remote raided into that instead of going in person. And also, it wasn't really much time on the clock to walk up to it, so for speed I remote raided into it, and also I don't want to stand in a park for ages, so there we go. Actually, that's the best one that I got throughout the raid hour, which is funny enough for that. And there we go, the raid hour is done. It's also, this is one of the gyms that I actually want to get gold at some point. I also Thorn Leisure Centre. Actually, I can see this from my house too, so that's not too bad. So I'm off home. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Of course, that is the end of the raid hour. Also some raids from Friday is also stacked in here. So, well, that's out of the pub, and I saw some legendary raids. And anyway, that leads that into the Animus raid. Well, all the Animus raid days on the Saturday. But anyway, next video coming up will be going into Gigantamax Meowth and not the Animus raid day. So these videos have been flipped around. But anyway, next video, Gigantamax Meowth, and I'll see you in that video. Goodbye.